Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. I haven't said that in a while. This is your introduction to season two of the series with Ali Dalsimer, the award winning author of the book by that same name. I want to welcome you guys tuning in on the simulcast on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and on X. Also, going to bring in those tuning in on Instagram as well, so they can be a part of our segment as well. I'm joining you guys live from Los Angeles. I'm in town for the August Film Festival. I'm going to be attending that tonight. But I'm excited about the kickoff of the second season of the series, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day, featuring Allie's book. And if you guys have not gotten her book on the Amazon side, it's available right now on sale, the Kindle edition. So we want to make sure you go ahead and don't miss out on this. You all can be able to get it for only 99 cents for the Kindle, or you can get the print edition like I have. Allie and I are going to talk to you guys about the show, how the series is going to go, and also let you guys know how you can follow along. Ellie, how you doing?
Well, hello, Cyrus. I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here with you for the kickoff of season two. I call it Fabulous Friday. For me, this is
Oh,
Fabulous Friday series.
I think we should hashtag that. I love it. Fabulous Fridays. That's what we're
hmm
going to do. That's going to be one of
Yeah.
our new hashtags we use. And this is something that, and I love that. We should have thought about that for. Well, I never think of anything, but that is perfect for us. And I'm so excited our audience could join us again. We're going to be joining you guys at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. So I think the time's a little different than we had it for season one. So it's 10 a.m. for me here at PST. But Allie, I'm excited about this for season two. Because season one probably was a surprise for you in some some respects. So let's talk about that, how this all started. So I met Allie through a mutual friend of mine, Robert Blake Whitehill, and he had told me about a friend of his who had written a book. So I had interviewed Allie with the first edition of her book, It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. Really enjoyed it, had a great interview with her. Then she re-released the book. And this book, I said to her, really not only made me feel seen, but I really thought that for readers, no matter where they are in the world, where they're from, what they've gone through, I think there's something in here all of them can relate to. So, Allie, talk to us about how this all started. What made you want to do the second edition of the book? We never talked about that. And what has it been like
Mm.
for you to see the response to it?
Yeah, you're right. We never have discussed that.
Mhm.
So, for those who don't know, this book really started as life advice for my kids. It was never intended to see the light of public day, so to speak. Um, they encouraged me to publish it, and I did, but I really didn't think you know, that anybody would read it. It's like I'm just going to put it out there, and my friends and family can get it. But I ended up having a really good response to the book, and people started sending me notes and had a couple interviews as I did with you, and decided that well, if this is going to be out there, I need to take a hard look at it because I wasn't really happy. I didn't really feel it was publish worthy in the
Mm.
sense of being as good as I wanted it to be. It also lacked context. A lot of people didn't really know where it fit. I was new. I was a complete neophyte. Had never published um, outside of a professional arena, and so there was a disconnect between my book cover and the contents. A lot of people thought it was a romance with my original cover, which it is not.
Yeah.
And so I went back and I spent 2 or 3 months really scrubbing the text and going over it. I sent it off to a professional editor who actually suggested I flip two of the chapters, which made a really big difference. That it was great because she actually had very little other commentary or edits, which made me feel good.
Mhm.
But flipping the two chapters really improved the flow of the narrative and helped make the story arc fluid. And I also changed the cover so that it's
Mhm.
more in line with the feel of the book. And now it's a chain that that breaks apart and birds fly away into a sky. And it's that breaking free, that freedom. And I feel it conveyed a really good sense of the book. And then, once I was happy with it and I put it out there as something I was really proud of. And I'm glad I did that. The response has been really positive and I've been happier with it. And I think it is a better read for the effort.
I love.
I also added bonus materials at the end, and I added an introduction to help frame how this book should be used, because it's not a one and done. It's not pick it up, read it, okay, go forth. It's really meant to be almost a reference to go back to whenever you need a little encouragement or motivation, or just want to give yourself a little hug.
Love that. I want to say hello to, I think it's pronounced baby Sahak. Good to be able to see you over there on YouTube. I appreciate you being with us. Insight Magazine, hello to you over there on IG. Real Lady Extreme, hello to you. Jamani Lee, hello to you. Jamani, I'm in your home, your state. I'm in Los Angeles this weekend covering the August Film Festival. K Connect, hello to you over there on IG as well. I'm so glad you gave that context. And again, I never knew that part of the story. And even in that, again, that may be something for another conversation. Allie, even the first edition even went through a cover change before you came to this edition as well. And I have them all. So
Oh
that
my
which is really
goodness.
cool. Yeah. So I want to talk about, because something you mentioned, and again, me not knowing what Allie was going to say, reminded me of the chapter that we just discussed, Allie. Do or do not, there is no try. Because in that, like you said, if you were going to do this, you were going to, to go for it. And I think a lot of people would have done the waiting thing. Well, I don't have this exactly right. I hear it a lot in my industry. People say, well, I want to start a podcast, but I don't have a $500 microphone, or I don't have a $3,000 camera. And they have that as obstacles as to keeping them from doing what they do. That's kind of a theme for you, Allie, that you don't wait on the perfect to do it. What has helped you to do that? And what advice would you give to others who may find that being one of their problems?
Well, what I do is try to take my own advice. And the advice that I would give to everybody is, don't wait. Don't
Mhm.
wait. Tomorrow isn't promised. If you want to do something, do it. Do it now. And perfection is the enemy of of productivity. There is no such thing as perfect, right?
Yeah.
That perfection is an illusion. And so embrace the moment and go for it. And you don't want to, at least I didn't want to do something slipshod. I mean, you don't want to be shoddy about it, but you don't need whatever you said, a $3,000
Hmm.
camera or a $500 microphone to start a podcast.
Hmm.
You can get a decent camera for whatever, under $100, and you can get a
Hmm.
microphone for same, 70,
Hmm.
$80.
Hmm.
And that's, it's not a small amount of money for a lot of people, but uh, it's not an overwhelming barrier if that's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Because, like
And
I
it don't.
say, obstacles are what you see when you take your eyes off the goal. You have to stay focused on the goal and how to get there. And you have to just move ahead and let it happen. And, honestly, here's the thing, right? Like, I spent years and decades just feeling really embarrassed when I made mistakes, feeling like I wasn't able to make
Mhm.
mistakes. I had really low self esteem, and didn't want to put myself out there because I was afraid I'd be ridiculed and all these other things. And I got to tell you, a lot of that was a little bit with me with that book when I released it originally. But
Mhm.
it's wasted energy. It's wasted
Yeah.
energy. No one's opinion matters but your own. If you're happy with something, if you like what you're doing and who you are, go for it, right?
Mhm.
That's all that really matters. And mistakes are just lessons learned. Embrace
Right.
them and move forward with them, because
Mhm.
they're invaluable. I think it was Edison who said something about the light bulb. He failed however many times. He said each one of those was just an experiment that led me to the right one.
Right. It's such a great thing, and we have joining us right now, Ali, live recording artists. We have actors. I see. We have authors like Relate Extreme, and Jamani says, "I love this. Great advice." Relate Extreme says, "This is good," and I think this what we're talking about is universal, and that's what I hope people take away from this book too. This is not one of those books that you, as you heard Ali say, and I've said it too. It is not one of those one and done. This is a book you can come back to for that little pep talk for yourself because it really is about you. And what I love that you did in this book, Allie, is that you didn't try to point outward to other people. You made this all about yourself, the only person we can do anything about. How important is that for the reader to think about that, to read it with that in mind, that you really are speaking to them almost like a one on one, but for them to be able to do that self reflection and self examination as they go throughout the book?
Yeah, I think that's really key. The book is not, it's not didactic. It doesn't tell you what to do or how to be.
Mhm.
And I also don't believe in a one size fits all. And
Right.
so I don't know what's going to work for you. I only know what worked for me or what I went through. And so I share that in hopes that you will look at that through your own personal lens, the lens of your personality, the lens of your personal experiences, the lens of your relationships and your life circumstances. Look at that through your own lens and hopefully apply those lessons learned because I share a lot of stuff that happened. And these are my experiences. Take them for what they will. Try to use them in a way that benefits you, in a way that's personalized to you.
Right.
And if people take the time to really think about how what I share applies in their own lives or to their own circumstances, hopefully they can get some benefit from it. And like I say, if what I write and what I share, which is deeply personal and
Yeah.
difficult at first to have put out there, can help even one person, then the whole experience that I went through was worth it because someone else won't have to do that.
So true. I want to reset real quick, Ellie, and say for those who are just tuning in, welcome. You're watching It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. This is our introduction show. I'm here live in Los Angeles, as I mentioned, in town for the August and August Film Festival. If you guys are following me on social, you'll see me posting more about that later. But I'm here today with Ali Dalsimer as we're kicking off season 2 of our series featuring her book. You guys can see there. It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. I should mention, if you guys do not have the book on the Amazon side, you all can get the paperback and you also can get the Kindle edition. In fact, Allie just shared in her stories for you guys over there on Instagram. So make sure you guys are following Allie. The link to be able to get the Kindle edition for only 99 cents. You have a few more days to get that. We're going to start with week 1 of the series next week, which will be September the 5th. Again, for what Allie is calling Fabulous Fridays, right? Allie, is that, I got it right?
Fabulous
Is that
Friday.
right? That'll be Fabulous Friday.
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to be kicking off with week 1 next week. It's a really good one, found on page 41. So what I'm going to be doing is, as we're promoting the series, letting you guys know what page we're going to be discussing to make it easier for you guys to be able to go through. One thing people will find, Allie, if they're just discovering you in the book, is that the book chapters are actually quotes. Talk to them about your love of quotes and kind of how that helped you in kind of crafting the book and the material.
Yeah, so that gets back even to the origin or the original origin of how this came about, which actually started years and years ago when I just collected quotes and I would write them on sticky notes or find them someplace, cut them out, and I'd tape them up on my kitchen counter. And I'd find them everywhere from fortune cookies to song lyrics to movie lyrics to book quotes. And I lived my life by these. I used them as little mantras to help me stay focused on who I wanted to be. And I raised my kids with them. And after my after my husband passed a while back, I ended up taking these quotes and putting them into a Word document that I intended, like I said, to be life advice for my kids. And that's how it started, as just quotes to try and keep myself and my children motivated. Everything from, the the harder you work, the luckier you get. And the one that I used as my personal mantra was from Jackie O: if you mess up your kids, nothing else you do matters. And about 40% of my quotes ended up in the book. And what I did was I put the quote, and whether it was from like Dory from Finding Nemo or Yoda or Lao Tzu, it's a wide variety. I would put the quote in, and then I'd have a page or two, 3 pages about how I interpret it and how it applies, or provide an example. And that's what the book is. It's a bite-sized nugget, chunk it out kind of experience to go through. The point of it being to provide little stepping stones to lead the reader on a journey from a point of sadness or grief, personal dissatisfaction, through self-acceptance and self-love, and hopefully to what I call embrace your inner fabulosity, so you can maximize your personal potential, which simply means to love who you are, where you are, what you're doing, who you're with, and really pursue your dreams, which are worth pursuing. Anybody's dreams are worth pursuing.
Yeah, such a great point. Ellie, I think it's appropriate that we are having this show as we're wrapping up one month, right? Preparing for the next, and that we'll be beginning our season officially, as I mentioned, on Friday, September the 5th. But I want to kind of talk about today, and you have a perfect message in the book that I think is so perfect for us as we're wrapping up this month. And our audience may be looking at where they are and say they had goals for 2025, right? Or they had goals for the month of August. And they may be wondering, what happened? Things didn't go the way they planned. They didn't do what they wanted. And I felt like the perfect message was found in the chapter that starts on page 25 with the title, "The Words You Speak Become the House You Live In." A great quote. I'd never heard that quote before, your book, Allie. So I want to thank you for including it. Is it pronounced Hafiz?
Hafiz,
Hafiz.
14th
So
century
I want to
Persian
read
poet.
some. Oh, got you, Hafiz. So I want to read what you said here, and then let's kind of give something for our audience as they're kind of thinking about the end of this month, but also the beginning that can begin today. You say this when it comes to the world that we live in. You call it, the thing that happens to us so many times is negativity bias. And you say it's not just others who can hurt you with negative words. You can and do hurt yourself when you speak negatively to yourself. The impacts of negative self talk may seem subtle, but its reality can be utterly self destructive. Don't give in to it, you write. And then you say, if you want to live your dream, it's up to you to make it happen. Encourage and reward your achievements rather than berate yourself for missed targets or momentary lapses. You must speak positive words to live in a positive house. So don't beat yourself up. So I want you to talk to our audience, Allie. What do you hope they take away from that message as they kind of think about their own circumstances, and how did that help you?
The takeaway that I hope people will embrace is to be kind and forgiving to themselves. And I've talked about this before, how we're so quick to encourage our friends and our loved ones and tell them it's okay, don't worry about it, you'll do better next time, or look how much you did, don't worry about this, don't worry about that. And we don't do it for ourselves. We beat ourselves up and chide ourselves for not doing more, accomplishing more, whatever, instead of really looking at how much we have done. And maybe we're dealing with all kinds of things. Maybe there's just so much going on in our lives right now that, frankly, getting through the day is an accomplishment in and of itself. And we should reward ourselves and feel good that we made it to the end of the day. Because sometimes, that's what we can handle. And I would really hope that people not just sort of say the words, but really, really internalize them and believe them. Because when you encourage yourself, it really has a positive spiraling effect where it builds and builds and builds, and you become more confident that you can achieve more because you've already achieved so much. I got through the day today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I will do more. So
Mm.
that's what I really hope people take from it.
Yeah. Ellie, I literally was, believe it or not, was reading your book again on the flight. And I was reading it because, for one, I wanted to bring myself, because I read a lot of books, bring myself back up to speed with the book, as a whole. And one of the things that you said, mentioned a couple of times in this, and I think our audience can relate to this, which is why I'm bringing it up, is that some days it's just doing the laundry and petting the cat or going to the mailbox, and I think we have gotten to a place, and I've done this too, so I know what this feels like, that we diminish anything we do because it's not the quote unquote big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I just heard you say, and I'll let you elaborate more on that, is that whatever we're able to do is the big thing. And
Yeah,
stop trying to minimize the things that we accomplish because they don't seem big to others or even ourselves. Is that right?
absolutely. Absolutely. And sometimes that can be really challenging, especially when close friends or family
Mm,
members aren't supportive in a way that you would like them to be.
right.
I call them naysayers, people who don't believe in you, don't believe in your dream, maybe who could help but don't. And, just speaking for me personally, I'm just going to share something here that I haven't actually shared before. But, when I first started writing, I was all excited to publish my book. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And it was a huge risk, right? Like I'm putting myself out there.
Right.
And someone very close in my life basically was like, well, I mean, writing's not a real job. And I was like, well,
Wow.
I spend a lot of time doing that. And I'm on social media, and there's like, well, that's just, social media. That's just playing. I was like, no, I have to promote, I have to let people know, put a book out there and no one knows about it. It's like the tree falling in the forest. No one hears it. And,
Right.
that was really hard. And I got, you're right. This is stupid. I don't even know if I'm going to do this now. And I really went through that, and I had to I had to recenter. And I actually went back and I read my own book. I was like, you know what? No, this is significant. Very few
Right.
people actually, 81% of people want to write a book, 4% of people write a book, and some smaller
Mm,
percentage of that actually publish. What I'm doing is a big deal. And just
right.
because this person doesn't think writing is a real job, doesn't think social media is a real job, thinks that everything I do is a hobby, still thinks that everything I do is a hobby and I need to get a real job, um, doesn't make doesn't make it true. That person's
Right.
opinion is not my reality. I know what
Right.
I do. And it's so important for people to just embrace their personal realities and believe in themselves. And we're just wired to focus in on that negative. You mentioned negativity bias. Negativity
Yeah.
bias, for those who don't know, means that we overvalue and retain negative inputs significantly more than we retain positive ones. So you could have 10 people say, wow, great job, you did so wonderfully.
Mhm.
And then you have one person who was like, that really stank. And what do you remember? That really stank. And so
Yeah.
we have to work to overcome it. It's ingrained in us. It's a survival mechanism. And we have to overcome that so that we can really, really acknowledge that, you know what, I did laundry today. I went to the mailbox today. I went grocery shopping. I have food. Some days that's enough. That's a
Hmm.
lot. Other days, great. We can climb a mountain. Super. That's not happening every day.
Yeah.
So, whatever we can do in a day, we need to reward ourselves, give ourselves a pat on the back.
Mhm. And Ellie, you talk a lot about embracing your own inner fabulosity. And I think that's a great tie in to this conversation because that inner fabulosity will be different for every person on every day. And I think that is the other great thing too, that none of us should look at someone and say, well, why aren't they doing this? Or why can't they do this? Or on the other side, they shouldn't be looking at other people and saying, well, they're able to do that. Why can't I, get myself together to do, X, Y, or Z. So I think that's why this conversation is going to be so great around this second season. I think with the first season, so if you guys have not had a chance to watch or listen to the first season, it is available on Amazon, or you can be able to watch it on any of the different platforms that you're on. We also have a playlist on my YouTube channel. So for those watching us on YouTube, I know Allie also has it on hers as well. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. But the new season officially kicks off next week. That's Friday, September the 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central. That's 10 a.m. PST. It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day, the book by Allie Dalsimer. Again, for a couple more days, you can get the Kindle edition for only 99 cents. So I would take advantage of that. Or you can get the print edition as I have as well. I've been getting them for myself. This is my personal copy that's marked up, Allie, that's here. Then I have my one that I don't feel embarrassed sharing with people to look at this one. And I've been gifting it too. So feel free to be able to get one for yourself. Also share it with your friends. It's one of those books you will definitely want to talk about. Allie, let them know how to be able to stay connected with you.
Absolutely. The easiest way is to go to my website, alliedalsimer.com, sign up for my newsletter, alliedalsimer.com/newsletter. It comes out twice a week. Follow me on socials on Instagram, or you can catch my videos on YouTube. I have several playlists there. And I would love to connect. And I'm excited for this show, Cyrus. And I really appreciate everybody who's tuned in today. And I hope you'll stay with us through the season.
Exactly. Allie, I'm excited about it as well. Lynn, looking forward to next week. I'll be back in Mississippi. Look forward to that.
Excellent. Me too.
And we thank you all for tuning in to this episode of It's Okay Not to Be Fabulous Every Day. Until next week, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.